to make their presence felt. We'll start to highlight them. But first, let's go into our autonomous period. 15 seconds. Everything's pretty scripted and pre-programmed right now.
Yep, keep an eye on both of these red robots on the outside, 2337 and 3538. Both go for multiple game pieces in red. Meanwhile, on blue, they just kind of tried to score the one they started with. But a little bit of an issue there with 7856 getting in the way of 2337's second attempt.
That's the UPad Fusion robot from University Prep Art and Design High School. So right now they are dead in the water, so to speak, and a non-factor. But we've seen robots and teams do very well even with a robot down.
Yeah, and I don't know what's wrong with that robot. It looks like they still are connected to the field. They have a wireless link to their robot, but it is unable to move. That said, it is a pretty big lead for Red right now. They're up by over 20 points, almost 30 points now.
And Dan, in terms of the design, the 4851 blue robot, Jungle Bots, it's just a square on wheels. Mm-hmm. Explain what that design is meant to do.
A lot of times you end up with a design like that when essentially you run out of time building your robot. You only get about 6 weeks to build the robot after you find out what the game is. And so some teams maybe just fall behind schedule. What they've done, though, is they've turned it into a defensive robot. They're out there trying to block the way, hit robots. Unfortunately, the last hit just caused them to disconnect. So they were out. And the dangerous part is they're out touching the ramp, that charge station. If they are deemed to interfere with the balance at the end of the match, they're going to get a big penalty and give balance points to the other alliance. Also, every time they get hit while they're in this red zone, it's a penalty. I've seen 2 already. So that's 10 points for the Red Alliance. So that's going to be another 5.
So anytime that robot's touched, that's points against the Red Alliance.
As long as they're inside the tape zone. Looks like that last hit pushed them out, so we won't see any more for a bit. But again, that's 20 points, and Red was already up big when that happened.
So both alliances down a robot, which is certainly not the norm, but we'll see how things play out regardless. Teams can still score a lot of points.
Even bigger, 2337 is broken. Their gripper, their intake in red, they're kind of going over to get ready to load right now. Their gripper is hanging off sideways on that arm. That is normally perfectly horizontal, so that broke free. They stopped scoring for the last, 45 seconds of the match.
That's the Engineers robot from Grand Blanc High School, one of the perennial strong machines.
Very, very good robot. It's not going to hurt them here because they had such a big lead that even with the broken robot and the other broken robot, they were able to hold on. But that is something, a lot of chaos in this one.
Yeah. Not the way you want to come out of the starting gate, but again, we've seen high scores turned in even when you're losing by one robot or have a robot down.